Gita we are doing. We are in that section where Arjuna was asking, what are the qualities of one who is self-realized, sthita pragya? And while explaining those qualities, Krishna is giving here the scientific process of the cause of anger. Why anger happens? Anger is a big problem, and it is usually considered as a negative quality, although anger can be used as a positive quality in certain situation, but for that anger has to be controlled and channelized. We don't find that kind of anger. For the most part, we find the anger which affect most people, it is uncontrolled and it is having um, negative connotation with it. So we will continue that discussion and see how we can learn from this to from this particular shloka and this particular section, how how does this whole process work and how we can come out of this trap in which we get sucked in. So we'll start with 2.63. Please repeat. क्रोधाद् भवति सम्मोहा
क्रोधात्
क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः
सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः
सम्मोहात् स्मृतिभ्रमः
स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो
स्मृतिभ्रमात् बुद्धिनाशो
बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति.
बुद्धिनाशात् पनश्यति
नश्यति.
प्रणश्यति।
Who is available to read the translation? सरिता जी आप पढ़ेंगे?
हाँ, पढ़ती मैं प्रभु जी। Translation. From anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost, and when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool. Srila Rupa Goswami has given us this direction.
I can read.
Yes, please.
प्रापञ्चिकत्या बुद्ध्या हरिसम्बन्धिवस्तुना मुमुक्षुभिः परित्यागो वैराग्यं फल्गु कथ्यते. भक्तिरसामृत सिंधु 1.2.258.
By development of Krishna's consciousness, one can know that everything has its use in the service of the Lord. Those who are without knowledge of Krishna's consciousness artificially try to avoid material objects. And as a result, although they desire liberation from material bondage, they do not attain to the perfect stage of renunciation. Their so called renunciation is called falagu or less important. On the other hand, a person in Krishna's consciousness knows how to use everything in the service of Lord. Therefore, he does not become a victim of material consciousness. For example, or for an impersonalist, the Lord or the absolute being impersonal cannot eat. Whereas an impersonalist tries to avoid good eatables. A devotee knows that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer and that he eats all that is offered to him in devotion. So, after offering good eatables to the Lord, the devotee takes the remnants called prasadam. Thus, everything becomes spiritualized and there is no danger of a downfall. The devotee takes prasadam in Krishna's consciousness, whereas the non devotee rejects it as material. The impersonalist therefore cannot enjoy life due to his artificial renunciation. And for this reason, a slight agitation of the mind pulls him down again into the pool of material existence. It is said that such a soul, even though rising up to the point of liberation, falls down again due to his not having support in devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, thank you so much for reading. So here Krishna is saying, continuation. What happens after anger? Complete delusion arises, and from delusion, memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost, and one stays in the material pool or falls down in the material pool. The shloka which we did previously was the previous part of how anger comes, and that started with dhyato vishayan pumsa, and we had discussed how dhyato means contemplate, meditate. So here translation is, while contemplating the objects of senses, person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment lust develops, and from lust anger arises. And in today's shloka, we see from anger, complete delusion, from delusion, bewilderment of memory. Memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost, and one falls down to the material pool. So, this is the whole cycle which is going on. Prabhupada in the purport starts by quoting Srila Rupa Goswami. So, who is Rupa Goswami? He is one of the very great saints. He's an acharya. He's actually considered to be the head of the whole sampradaya in which we are getting teachings. ISKCON is getting teachings, and one of the acharyas who is kind of the leader whom we are all following. We are the followers of this personality. His name is Rupa Goswami. He came about 500 years ago, and he has written many books in which he has quoted so many different shastras and explained how one can actually win the heart of Krishna and can re-establish our love for the Lord, which is what we are longing for, which is what we really, really will be happy with. So he is quoting that um, people may want to control the senses, because we read in this section, right? Contemplation of the object of senses. So one may think of not contemplating on the sense objects, and for doing that one has to have a mindset of renunciation or tyag in Hindi, or renunciation in English, means not being absorbed in using things for our sense gratification. The highest level of tyag, or the highest level of renunciation, is when we use all the objects for the service of Krishna. So either than so rather than stop using the objects and actually throwing them and you know um, rejecting them, a devotee sees the utility and uses in the service of Krishna. This kind of tyag, when we are not using it for our sense enjoyment but using it for the service of Krishna, is the highest level of tyag or renunciation. And this is the very reason why the senses are given to us. We are given a mouth where we can speak, which we can use for speaking and which we can use for eating. And if we do both of these things for Krishna, then that is the highest level of renunciation. Lower than this is somebody says, okay, I will not speak, I'll do Maun Vrat, or I will I will not eat at all. So both these are very, very powerful ways of controlling the senses. But that is not how we are doing the best utilization of this resource. This resource of speaking is actually meant for speaking about God, speaking about Krishna. So, this kind of tyag or renunciation where we are using things for the Lord is the highest level. If we are not doing that and we are just doing it for our own sense enjoyment, then it's a big problem. Why? Because then we will contemplate, then our desires will not get fulfilled, we'll get anger, and then memory will get bewildered, intelligence will be lost, and we'll not be able to get to our desired goal and desired destination. So here the word used here is Falgu. Falgu means it is not real, it is not true. So Falgu Tyag or Falgu renunciation is the renunciation that okay, you're not eating or you're not speaking like Maunavrat, but you are not doing the best utilization of this resource. But if you use it for the God, for Krishna, then it's the best utilization. That is how we can always remain conscious of our relationship with Krishna, and we can always be Krishna conscious. So this is how devotees conduct themselves. Now there are other spiritual practitioners. They are called as impersonalist. Impersonalists don't have a clear idea about what are the different energies of Lord. They feel that because Lord is present everywhere, so Lord must be impersonal. Impersonal means he does not have a personality. But Lord is Lord Krishna or the Supreme God is unique in every way. So he can be impersonally existed everywhere, but also because of his transcendental and spiritual nature, he is personal also. So there is nothing which God doesn't have. So God has impersonal aspect, personal aspect, and anything and everything you can think of. So here Prabhupada is saying impersonalist tries to avoid good eatables, but a devotee knows Krishna is enjoyer and he eats only which is offered to Krishna with devotion. So a devotee will cook very nice eatables for Krishna and then offer to Krishna and then distribute, and himself or herself also take it. And this is Mahaprasad or Prasad of Krishna. So when one is in this consciousness, one is safe actually. One will not fall down. Otherwise, the mind will actually make you fall down. If we don't have this devotion, strong connection, then mind will drag us and fall down. There are so many examples of impersonalists. Like, can somebody give some examples who were doing such tapasya and controlling the senses, but they failed?
Vishwamitra, in- uh, Vishwamitra, like who was controlling his senses, and then Menka came. Um,
Yes, yes, very good example. So Vishwamitra, who was, we've discussed the story before, that how he was wanting to be a very, very advanced yogi, mystic. He had got so many powers actually by tapasya and austerities. But he was not having attraction to the lotus feet of the Lord, and therefore he was easily able to get distracted by Menaka, even though he was trying to control. So first time he got distracted by Menaka because of his, you know, uncontrolled. He, in spite of controlling the senses, he was not able to get complete control. So he got distracted, and because of uncontrolled lust, he was able to get deviated and distracted And then later on, he came back to senses. He's like, oh my God, why did I waste so much time? I had my goal. So he went back to tapasya. But then he was approached by Rambha, who was another very beautiful Apsara. But this time he remembered that he had messed up last time. So this time he did not let the lusty desires, uh, go uncontrolled. He controlled those, but then his anger got uncontrolled. Anger, because he was thinking that they have again sent this Apsara and she's coming and distracting me. So then that gave him a lot of anger. So we see anger actually trickles in and is even harder to control. So then later, when he continued his tapasya, finally he was able to actually get attraction to the lotus feet of the Lord also, and became a devotee and the highest level uh, of sage. Uh, and Lord Ram himself actually came and associated and served Vishwamitra, because Vishwamitra had become a devotee. So Lord Ram, who is the supreme Lord, he came and sometimes he will massage the feet of Vishwamitra. Now he is Lord, but he takes pleasure in serving his devotees. That is the unique nature of Krishna or Lord. So here we see that one example came of Vishwamitra Muni. Any other example where we can see impersonalists, they actually were doing severe austerity tapasya, but they actually got distracted easily and they were unable to continue. Any other example anybody else has other than Vishwamitra? So there is another personality called as Saubari Muni. Saubari Muni is also very famous. He was so powerful mystic. These yogis, they are very powerful, like they have powers which you can say in one sense may appear to be like supernatural powers. So this particular yogi, he was meditating inside the river. Yeah, many times you will see that there are descriptions of how great saints and sages, they will go to the forest and in secluded place they will meditate, or they will do their spiritual activities. Sometimes they will go in the mountains and they'll do their top of the mountain. Sometimes they will actually go inside water. So here Swabari Muni, he went inside water and he was doing this tapasya. And while he was doing this tapasya, there he made a big offense to Garuda. Garuda is a great devotee of the Lord. And because he did the offense to Garuda, and Swabari Muni himself was not a very advanced devotee yet, and therefore what happened? Swabari Muni actually, because of the offense, he fell down. He saw two fishes, and they were mating. And just thinking that, his mind got distracted and he started thinking, I should also have a family. And he left his tapasya and everything. And because he was mystic, he went to the king. He said, you should give me your daughter for marriage. So the king understood that he is looking like a big, powerful yogi. If I tell him no, he will curse me. But he looks so ugly, who will want to marry her? So he said, okay, whichever. So this king had 50 daughters. He said, okay, whichever daughter of mine she chooses you as her husband, she can marry you. I have no objection. And this yogi, he was also very clever. He said he understood the trick of the king. He said, the king is telling me that any of the daughters can marry me, but I have to actually be like, they should be attracted to me. But how will they be attracted? I have done so much tapasya, and my whole physical appearance is not attractive at all. But he was a mystic and a yogi, so he changed his appearance. He changed his appearance, and he became so handsome, so beautiful, so young, and beautifully decorated. And then when he appeared in front of these girls, all the girls got attracted to him, and they said, we'll marry. So he married practically all the daughters. So this is how we see he was meditating and trying to advance spiritually, but he got dragged and distracted because he was not at the highest level of devotion. But when we see the example of Haridas Thakur, who is a great saint and sage who appeared 500 years ago, he was born in a Muslim family, but he had a spontaneous attraction towards the holy names of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And he advanced in spiritual life to the point where he was completely absorbed in these chanting these holy names. So at that time, when he was approached by beautiful uh, um, lady, he was actually not distracted. The lady proposed him that okay, we must enjoy. It's dark, nobody is there, and it's night time, and it's arrangement of God that we both are together here. You are so handsome, I'm so beautiful, let's enjoy. And Haridas Thakur at that time said, I will fulfill your desires, but right now I have to complete my chanting. I have to take these certain amount of names of Lord, so I cannot interrupt that. I have to complete that first. So she waited, and Haridas Thakur kept chanting, and hearing the chanting, her heart also starts to get transformed. And through the night, she kept hearing the purifying names of God. And next day, Haridas Thakur said, oh, sorry, maybe you come again, and then, I will try to fulfill your desires. And she came again, and she kept hearing Haridas Thakur chanting, and Haridas Thakur chanted again the whole night because he said, I'm still yet to complete my rounds. So, like this happened 3 days, he kept chanting, and this lady kept hearing. And just by hearing the pure sound vibrations of this Mahamantra, after that 3 days, the lady actually got transformed. She told her, actually, I was sent to test you and to defame you. There was whole strategy being built by people who are envious of you, and they wanted to get you caught red-handed when we are together. And I also had a part there with them because I was also trying to defame you. But you are such a great saint. 3 days you've chanted this holy name, it has transformed my heart. Now I don't want to get into any of these. And please um, give me instruction, give me service. And she actually became Haridas Thakur's disciple. Haridas Thakur told her to chant the holy name and to serve Tulsi Maharani. And Haridas Thakur said, I already knew that they had sent you to test, and I was going to go, but I stayed because I wanted to render service to you of connecting you with this spiritual process. And Haridas Thakur at that time displayed uh, extraordinary devotion and complete renunciation. So this is complete renunciation. Haridas Thakur was eating, he was not living under the water, he was not doing austerity like Vishwamitra Muni or Swabari Muni were doing, but because he was completely absorbed in Krishna, he was unaffected by all the other allurements which came. Okay. Anybody would like to add any points to this particular discussion in this this particular shloka? Any comments? Anything in particular? Okay, so 62 and 63, we had done a PowerPoint just to summarize these two shlokas because they're so important. They can be uh, relevant no matter in what phase of life we are. Could be for kids, could be for older people, could be for middle age, everyone. So desire, anger, and self-control. So what does the verses are saying here? Thinking too much about the objects that make us feel attached to them. From attachment, we feel like we want it, and then anger will come if we don't get it. And then with anger, one actually lose control of oneself because the memory is not his memory gets bewildered and intelligence is lost. So one is confused, leads to forgetfulness, one makes poor choices and gets into trouble. So we had discussed this example of Ravan, how he was contemplating on whom was Ravan contemplating on? Can anybody tell?
Sita Mata,
Yes, he was contemplating on Mother Sita. Why and how? How did he
because
get
of
in?
his sister describing about Mother Sita, that
Yes,
she's
because he
very
heard.
beautiful.
Correct. So he heard from his sister about the beauty of Mother Sita. He started getting very much attracted to Mother Sita, and then he wanted to go and enjoy. And then he understood, oh, something is there who is going to stop me from enjoying with Sita. And who was that?
Sri Ram and Lakshman.
Ah, Ram. So he understood, okay, Ram, I have to do something about it. So he actually devised a plan with Marich going and taking Ram away. And this is how he he had understood that Ram is not ordinary. He was able to kill Khardushan and so many others. So he had some idea. So he thought, okay, I don't need to fight. I can just have Sita be alone and I'll go and kidnap her secretly. That's what he attempted. And then he did that, and his memory was actually lost. He was a great learned Pandit. He knew the Vedas, but he was actually not able to understand the essence of all the Vedas is to be in service with the Lord. So his memory was lost. So many people were coming and telling him to give up Mother Sita back, give Mother Sita back to Lord Ram, and you'll be happy. But he was completely against this idea. He said no. He was coming up with so many reasons of how he will win. And if he lose someone in the battle, he'll say, oh, this is all the more reason now I will not give Sita. So like this, his intelligence was completely lost. And he actually uh, digged his own grave, like people say. He actually caused his own destruction. So, this we already discussed contemplation, attachment, and then lust develop. And he got anger and then delusion. And he completely forgot who he was. He was a great scholar, devotee of Lord Shiva, but now he was totally a slave of lust. And he ignored his advice of so many people, his brother Vibhishan, so many others. Can you tell who else advised him to give up Mother Sita, to give her back?
Because of his wife, Mandira.
Yes. So
Kumbhakaran
his wife Mandodari, Kumkaran,
and
his brother
Vibhishan ji.
Vibhishan, yes. Who else?
at last, Meghnad also.
Meghnad also said yes. So many of other family members, his grandfather also said, and there were so many people who were advising, but he also had other advisors also who were advising him otherwise. So it is always there. We always have two choices to make, and we have uh, a devotee and a demon practically in our heart. Demon is pushing us to do wrong things, and devotee is pushing us to do right things. And then depends on whose voice we actually choose to listen and follow. That determines our future. So Raman actually caused his own destruction. So in our life also we can see, some object we may want to enjoy, let's say a cake, and then our well-wisher may say, no, your blood sugar will go high or you will gain weight, and then we'll get angry on them. We may want praise, but if we get insult, then we are very, very angry. So we should try to understand that contemplating on objects of senses can cause big problem. So we have to have self-control, and that will make us peaceful. So that will be the next shloka which we are yet to read. So two paths are there. One is see, think about the object of sense, then we really want it, and then we get angry if we don't get it. Another option is to see and then thank Krishna for what we are getting and be calm and relaxed, and that will give us happiness. So gratitude to Krishna and continuing our service will actually help. So we actually will find more joy and peace, not by the objects, by grabbing all the objects whatever come in front of us, but actually by thanking and grateful to be Krishna to what we have, and then using them in the service of Krishna. First we have to start learning using the objects or the resources or the things which we have in the service of Krishna. Then accordingly our consciousness will be focused in spiritual subjects. All right, so this is what I could share from these two shlokas. Any points anybody wants to make, or any questions on this particular section?
I have a, you can say, question or comment, maybe
Yes.
question. So we do have embedded within ourselves both good conscious and bad conscious, or good generators and bad generators. But sometimes people unknowingly, being naive or ignorant, chooses the bad path and then they regret. So how is that perceived from the Lord's or divinity point of view? When you
Yeah.
regret, and then if there is an opportunity that you come back and you are still treated as a true devotee or
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
So Arjun asked this question. Arjun says, what is that force which actually makes us, even those people who are intelligent, who know what is the right thing and wrong thing, still they land up doing something which is wrong, as if by force, as if some force is making us do it.
Mhm.
That'll come in future. But just to answer a question, Krishna actually answers by saying that how it is actually calm, or it's actually desires which we are incorporating, which are separate from the Lord, separate from Krishna, and those desire impel us to act in ways in which we don't intend. So that we have to go to the root cause and address it. We are exposed to so much outside stimulus and input which is not Krishna conscious or favorable for devotional life. But if we start spending more time and get association of more of devotees, then automatically we will have our uh, desires which are separate from Krishna, those will actually get transformed. And when they get transformed, we will actually be able to stay in the right path. So how that is perceived by the Lord? Lord is very, very generous. He knows that any activity which we are doing, we are going to get the karma, and he explains that, the science of karma. But at the same time, when it comes to how he sees it or how he encourages others to see it, it is very, very uh, touching to know. The Lord says that if anybody is on the spiritual path and he is or she is practicing devotional service, if that person lands up making any mistakes, even if it is a biggest mistake, still that person should be considered saintly and should be forgiven, because that person is in the process of complete purification, and with time that person will completely get purified. I take this guarantee. So just like if somebody is in the shower and the whole body was previously covered with dirt and mud, but now that person goes in the shower, he and is about to turn on the shower or has just turned on the shower, but the person is still very dirty. There is dirt in the hands, dirt in the leg. So a person who is standing outside will not really be concerned. Let's say if a child is there taking bath, the mother won't be concerned that, oh, there is so much dirt in their feet or in the hand, because the child is already in shower. So with time, all of that dirt will go away. So similarly, Krishna says, because that person is seriously and sincerely practicing, even if some mistake has happened, that mistake he will actually overcome or she will overcome in some time, and that person must be seen saintly. So this is how Krishna sees that even if you may land up making some mistake, but you are practicing devotional service, and it may have happened because of some previous bad habits. So Krishna is not a hard-hearted master. Like sometimes when you come across other religions like Christianity or Islam, sometimes God is portrayed as a very hard-hearted master who just has a punishing stick and always thinking, who is going according to me? Okay, you are good. You're not going according to me? Okay, beat that person or give something bad to that person. God is a loving father who actually gives us one chance, another chance, third chance, chances after chances for so many lifetimes he is giving us. And therefore, we see that many times Islam and Christianity, they think there is only one life in which you have to do the right thing, otherwise you are gone forever. But that's not true. And because he's a loving father, he gives us more chances, but that does not mean that we misuse his magnanimity. He is so magnanimous and generous, but we must take it seriously that why should I waste time and suffer in one body, then another body, and so many bodies? No, I want to be serious and take charge of my future myself and do the right thing right now. And if I do that, then I know my future will be secure. So, this is how a devotee or a obedient uh, child of this loving father behaves. The obedient child says, okay, God is saying this, let me do that. What is the problem? And this way they do good to themselves as well good to others. Does it answer your question?
Prabhuji, I have a
Yes,
question.
it does. It does. Sorry. I was
Okay. Thank
listening.
thank you.
Mhm.
Yes, Rekha Mataji, you want to share?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I have a question. I understand that you're saying that Krishna says that if somebody is on the devotional path and if he does the mistake and he's still considered saintly. But on this question, let's say we know that we made a mistake, and then we say to ourselves while we're trying to walk the spiritual path, we are aware that we made that mistake, and we say we'll not do it, and again by mistake that mistake happens. So how do we how do I console that to myself that even though I'm trying, but sometimes same mistakes get repeated, you
Yeah.
know?
So
So
one has to understand this conceptually and philosophically, but one also has to address it practically. So from philosophically, we can understand, okay, I have been doing it for so many lifetimes, a particular thing, and in this lifetime also, it becomes a small, strong samskara, and every time I do something like that, it actually increases my propensity of doing it again. So I have to control that part, but also engage myself in such a way that there is minimum chances of having such a mistake again. So practically, by taking guidance from our counselors or mentors or those who friends who may we have some sort of a trust, discussing with them, and then praying to Krishna, praying to Tulsi Maharani, that okay, I'm making this mistake repeatedly, I want to really rectify this or get better at a particular service. I'm trying to do this service, and there are certain things which obviously are not something we can do right away. Like for example, somebody says, oh my god, I'm still not having 100% focus in chanting, and I'm making the mistake of my mind going and thinking about what happens in the office. Now, this kind of a mistake is not really a mistake, it's lack of our ability to be able to purify our chanting. So it could be something like this, or it could be a gross mistake where we may be offending devotees or breaking principles which may be inappropriate. So like somebody started to drink or smoke or something like that. So different mistakes may have to be handled differently, and may need a specific one-to-one conversation with the friends or with those who are more experienced in spiritual life. But we do understand that Krishna gives us opportunities for us to get better and not to abuse Krishna's magnanimity, that oh anyways chalta hai, I'll do whatever and that would be okay. It doesn't work like that. Does it make sense, Mataji?
yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. It's basically I don't know, maybe not a like a mistake, but it's that nature that we have a Bible. Like for instance, if we are very sensitive, somebody said something, we're very sensitive, we feel at heart. But at the same time, we know that we have to go by that shloka what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanena Mandena. I mean, we know that we need to follow that, but still sometimes somewhere in the heart, like we feel hurt, like, oh, somebody said something, maybe they didn't mean it, but you know, and
Yeah,
then we start making stories in our mind.
correct.
That's basically what like I'm trying to get to it, and I know I'm wrong, but I don't know how to control that.
No, I think this is a very important shloka which will help us understand that. So we have a certain, emotions which came up because of someone else's behavior. And why did these emotions come up in us? We can study them. Okay, this person said something to me, I felt it's insulting me, and that made these emotions come up. But the very fact was that I was having a mindset of really wanting to get prestige, reward. So that mindset of humility I am lacking. So this is a good opportunity which Krishna is showing me how I can imbibe more humility. And we can pray to Krishna, Krishna, please help me to become more humble. Like, for example, we see great personalities, they don't mind if they are if somebody says wrong about them. Like, for example, Lord Chaitanya, when he was personally um, told that, hey, this person is insulting you, he was not affected. There were some people who were insulting him and talking bad about him. He was not affected. But if somebody else was getting attacked, like Haridas Thakur or somebody, then Lord Chaitanya was coming and defending them. So similarly, if you see great devotees, sometimes if you tell something against them, they will just be humble. But if you tell something about Krishna or about their guru or about their organization, then they will take a stance of defending. The idea of defending is to explain the other person what is the right facts. That way they don't have any situation where they land up in getting offenses by saying wrong to great people. So like that, we see that in different time, place, circumstances, we may have to be humble by not speaking, but sometimes humility is also displayed by speaking and putting the facts in front. But in either case, when devotees are uh, are generally said anything wrong to, devotees just feel, take a higher moral ground like Yudhishthir Maharaj and forgive them and just move on depending upon what the situation is. But if somebody is saying wrong for their guru or their society or Krishna or ISKCON or anything like that, then they have to take the role of a Kshatriya and go and put the facts right. Does it make sense, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. It makes perfect sense. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else has any points?
Yeah, I just had a comment as I was listening all of this discussion. I just feel that um, human life is so complicated. However, this enlightenment definitely helps. These insights definitely helps. So thank you for giving us this light and showing us this path. So it's helpful.
Thank you so much for joining. I'm grateful to you and everybody who's joining. So I wanted to cover one more shloka. I don't think we have that much time, but we'll quickly try to read it, and we'll do a discussion, maybe more discussion next week. But I want to just take this as also because we missed last couple of weeks. So please repeat after me. Rag Dvesha Vimuktestu
Raga, Dvesha,
Vishayanindriyaicharan
Vishayanendriyaicharan
Atmavashairvidheyatma
Atma Basir Vidyatma
Prasadamadigaccati.
Prasadam Adigachati.
Okay, who will read the translation in purport? Anybody available?
I can read.
Please. Thank you.
It is all translation, but a person free from all attachment and aversion and able to control his senses through regulative principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord. Purport. It is already explained that one may externally control the senses by some artificial process, but unless the senses are engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord, there is every chance of a fall. Although the person in full Krishna consciousness may apparently be on the sensual plane, because of his being Krishna conscious, he has no attachment to sensual activities. The Krishna conscious person is concerned only with the satisfaction of Krishna and nothing else. Therefore, he is transcendental to all attachments and detachment. If Krishna wants, the devotee can do anything which is ordinarily undesirable. And if Krishna does not want, he shall not do that which he would have ordinarily done for his own satisfaction. Therefore, to act or not to act is within his control because he acts only under the direction of Krishna. This consciousness is the causeless mercy of the Lord. which the devotee can achieve in spite of his being attached to the sensual platform.
Thank
Hare
you. Thank
Krishna.
you so much for reading. Hare Krishna. So here, rag and dvesh, this is talked about. So rag means attachment, dvesh means aversion. So this feeling, some things we like a lot and something we reject. So this kind of a like behavior of duality, that causes problem. So if one is able to get free from this, you see, those who are mature actually they are free from this. They are not totally into attachment or aversion, and this shows spiritual maturity. And this comes when the senses are controlled. And how to do that? By the process, by this process which is given to us. Um, and if one does this, then one gets complete mercy of the Lord. So we always want blessings and mercy of the Lord. This is the way to get it. In purport, Prabhupada is mentioning here what we have talked about even in the past, that how senses are to be used in the service of the Lord. And if one does that, then one can prevent falling down, and one can control the senses, one can control the mind, can control these tendencies tendencies of attachment and aversion. So if one is doing all of this, then one would be willing to do whatever necessary for the service of the Lord. Let's say somebody is a chairman of a company, big person, or a king. But then, for the service of the Lord, the temple has to be swept. They have to clean the whole temple for a festival. So this person won't think, Arey, I will call my servants to come and clean. No, for the service of the Lord, ordinarily, even if he doesn't have to do this at home or office, he has servants. But here he will do it. Why? Because this is for the service of the Lord. So similarly, one may ordinarily do certain things, but for the service, if it is not done, they will not. Let's say we eat every day, but then for the service, it is necessary to fast on certain days. So the person, a devotee, will be ready to be fast. Okay, yes, today is Ekadashi, today is Janmashtami, I'll be fasting. So things which we ordinarily will do, we will not do if it is needed for the service, and ordinarily which we don't do, if that thing is needed for the service, we will be ready to do. That is really when we can say one is free from attachment and aversion and ready for service, and that kind of consciousness can give the complete mercy of the Lord. Okay, so we'll stop here.